All right, I wanted to run through just a brief video on the entry and exit system that we have set up at our facility. This system is set up on both the front and the back doors. It is all HIK Vision branded products, or HIK Vision, however you want to say it. The main part of the system is this keypad. It's the brain. It is also a card reader. That's for the outside of the building to gain access. To exit the building, we have this push button. The building is locked and secured 24/7, so you always have to push the button to exit the building. And then we have two locks on each door. We have a deadbolt lock, and we also have a magnetic style lock. The system runs on 12 volts DC, which I, right now, just for the testing purposes, have running or being supplied by this power supply. 12.2 volts, and you can see in its closed, locked state, it is drawing 0.5 amps, all of these things in their locked state. If the system does not see 12 volts, if you lose power to this system, it will unlock all the locks. The way that it's normally set up, the way that we have it set up. If you lose power to the system for any reason, it will unlock all the doors and you will be unsecured, unless you have some secondary mechanical key lock or something like that. So here's the wiring. The 12 volts positive and negative comes in on the the black and red coming into the keypad. And then there is a ground output coming from the keypad to supply the ground side of the 12 volts to both of the locks. The positive side of that 12 volts is coming off of this blue wire coming out of the keypad. And that is going to the 12 volts on both of the locks. 12 volts positive, I should say. The push button is just a signal that is a ground signal. So it requires a ground on this yellow wire going into the push button. And then it sends a ground signal out on this white wire, which is going to the purple, going back into the keypad. That ground signal is interrupted when you push the push button, unlocks the doors, and then after the timer finishes on the brain, everything re-engages. There is also a way to do sensor, door open or closed sensor. And because this particular lock also has some outputs which you can use. There's a relay inside that triggers when the deadbolt opens or closes. And the way that works is this blue wire is the signal, so the input signal. So if you need a ground input signal, you hook it up to ground, or a negative input signal. If you need a positive input signal, you hook it up to positive, but this particular unit receives a ground signal, or a ground signal for its door open close sensor. So that's going in on the blue, and then whatever's going in on the blue is coming out of there on the white. Okay, so we have that hooked up to the white, going back to the keypad, and that is the door open or closed sensor. When the deadbolt opens, it will interrupt the ground signal coming out of that white wire, which will tell the keypad that the door has opened. So that's how the system works. There's some unused wires as well. With this relay in this lock, you could have a normally open signal, which would be this yellow wire if you needed that, but this particular setup uses a normally closed signal for the sensor. If you're confused about what that means, look up how relays work. There's normally open and normally closed states and different signals for each. This green wire unused as well, same type of thing. It's a normally open signal, which when you push the button, then it closes. Not necessary for our system. And also there's an option to have a separate switch to turn the system on and off. So in our case, we need the doors to be locked and secured 24 hours a day and only open when people want to enter and exit. But if you have this set up for some kind of a business where during your open hours, you want to have the locks disengaged so they can be opened anytime by customers, then you would hook up a switch here, just a normal switch that you could turn on and off from inside that would engage and disengage the system. So for our case though, we just have the brown and the green wires from the keypad hooked together. So that's pretty much it. I think that's all I wanted to say about this. I will put links to the different products in the description if you want to use this exact same setup. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below.